We're going to have Greg Ball to say a few words right now to inspire us all. Come on up, Greg.
Thank you. Everybody, how are you? Doing okay? Staying cool? I'm going to ask for my staff that's out there, Dan, if you can make sure on the walkie-talkie, make sure that we're passing water throughout the crowds. Okay, Carla? Make sure that we have, whoever wants water, just raise your hand. We'll make sure we get it to you. I want to thank you all for coming out, and I know it's hot as Hades. But this is nothing compared to what the Founding Fathers laid on the line. In November, we will have the second great American Revolution, but that relies upon your resistance. That relies upon your persistence. That relies upon your ability to stand up and to endure what this great government has forced upon us. Make no mistake about it. What is at stake at this moment in this great nation's history is greater than ever before. We live in the greatest country that this world has ever known. If you see my mother and you see my father here today, I was the first in my family to graduate from college. Many of you know my background. We live in a country where blue-collar people are under assault. You are under assault every single day. When you go to dinner and you sit down at your meal with your beautiful family and you go to take a bite, that food is coming from countries that use pesticides and herbicides that we outlawed 30 to 40 years ago. But we have politicians on both sides of the aisle who believe in the concept that if someone in America can take $1 and turn it into $2, well then that's okay. The reality is that this next great American revolution is not about Republican versus Democrat. And that's the great power in the Tea Party movement and in the grassroots movement. Because if you remember in New York State, it was the Republican Party that was in charge of the New York State Senate under Joe Bruno, a crook by any other name. 2 years before Joe Bruno's indictment, I asked him to step down. I was the only Republican elected in Albany to ask that to be done. But he cut deals just as the previous Republican governor did with the special interest groups and the power brokers in Albany just as quickly as the Democratic-controlled assembly. You're going to hear from many politicians today. But more importantly, I'm asking each and every one of you that has something to say to come up here and talk to your fellow patriots. Because this movement is your movement, this is your country, and this is your state. And you work every day because America has made each and every one of you a promise, and don't forget it. America's promised you that if you obey the law, if you work hard, that at the end of the day, you will leave your children with a better standard of living than you've had. That is America's promise, and for the first time in American history, we no longer believe in the efficacy of that promise. That is the battle call of this next election. And as politicians come before you from now until September 14th and now until November 2nd, you ask them, don't tell me, let me see your record. You may hear something on a TV commercial, you may see something in a flyer, you may even see something today. But I want you to go online and I want you to get their voting record and make sure that when the times were tough and when politicians in this state were passing tax increase after tax increase, unfunded mandate after unfunded mandate, that they were not part of the problem, but they were part of the solution. And as God is my witness, if they were part of the problem, throw them out.
Throw them out. Throw them out.
God bless. Have a great day. I'm going to have my ribs. I'm going to start cooking ribs over there. They're free. If we need more, we'll get them. And make sure you drink lots and lots of water. God bless.